Hey guys, how you doing? This is NKH and we have the Ashket video today. We are checking the vendors, the profession bags, the one I promised you in the tailoring video, and the cash. Before I get into all of that, there's a lot of videos on this playlist. I made quick guides on each profession, so make sure to check them out. And we have a new video every 3 days. So sub the channel not to miss the next one. And leave a comment or a like down below. Yeah, let's get into this video. In case you had no idea, we're using Cage and Resonance Crystal. Now, Resonance Crystal is something like the Dragonlight supplies that we had in Dragonflight. You get it throughout the expansion doing all kinds of things. World quests, renown, all of this stuff. Now, Cage, however, is something that you get only in the 4th zone. It's the City of Treasure, the Nubian ones. Now it's a currency exchanged only in there, and you can use it to buy stuff from the vendors. You get a lot from the renown, so make sure to level up your Severed Threads renown. It's the 4th zone, and you can exchange resonance crystal to cash. At the beginning it's 800 resonance crystals for 100 cash, but the higher your renown, the lower the rate is. At some point in the renown you can exchange 100 resonance crystal to 100 cash, so make sure again to level up your renown as fast as you can. You can see the location on the map. I will leave the coordinates in the description, so make sure to check him if you have a hard time finding a specific vendor. The tailoring one will give you the alchemist robe, some knowledge points, and the bag comes from the quality fabrics in the tailoring spec. Now you need to spend 25 points to unlock that bag, and it will give you +1 item each time that you unravel something. So if you're going for the reagents build, this is a must-have. The alchemy one will give you the profession bag and again some knowledge points. Now ranking the bags, this is at the bottom. This is the least important profession bags. In my opinion, it can be only useful at the beginning for leveling up alchemy, because it will only increase your chance of discovering a new recipe every time you experiment by 3%. It's like nothing, and it's not important at all. Blacksmithing and mining share the same vendor, and you can get a lot here. You can get a new weapon recipe for the blacksmithing, it's an axe. You can get the key recipe to unlock the locked chest. You get again some knowledge points, and you get the mining bag. Now the mining bag for dual gatherers are a great thing, because each time that you mine something, you decrease the cooldown of the overload. So in long dual gathering sessions, this is a very good thing. I would say it's a must even for dual gatherers. You need to get this for both mining and Herbalism. The blacksmithing bag comes from a weekly event. It's called Awakening the Machine, and it's a very good one again if you're going for the ever-burning forge buff. Now that's a cooldown that blacksmiths use to optimize their stats, and this bag will just optimize it further. This bag will increase the amount of stats that you get by ever-burning forge by 20. Like ingenuity, multicraft, resourcefulness, all of that increased by 20. So it's a must-have. Now the event itself is really simple. You just have to defend this certain NPC, and you have a chance of getting the recipe at the end of the event from the chest. As to how the drop chances are, well, I'm not sure. I hope that it's a lot, but this is the only way you can get the blacksmithing bag. The engineering one is a weird one, just like the profession, because it will increase the amount of scrap you get from all the sources by 1. Now a lot of people will argue that it's not much because you can pilfer with a lot of parts and get scraps, but at the beginning you want a lot of scraps, so you can argue that it's worth it or not worth it. Well, it's completely up to you. I mean, seriously, every time you pilfer with parts, it will increase your scraps again, so I think it's a must, but it's up for debate. Enchanting is a very good vendor because 2 of the most in-demand bracers come from this vendor. The avoidance one and the leech enchant will come only from this vendor. So make sure you get these two enchants if you're just selling enchants on the auction house. Now the bag itself is just like the best blacksmithing one. It will give you more stats whenever you use your shatter buff. Now enchanters can use the shatter to increase their stats and optimize their stats, just like blacksmithing with ever burning forge, and it's a very good thing to have if you're going for that build. Herbalism, just like the mining one, will decrease the cooldown of your overload by 1% every time you gather something, and it will give you knowledge points for herbalism. So if you have dual gatherers, this again is a must-have. Make sure to get it as soon as you can. The inscription one is somewhere at the bottom with the alchemy, because it will only have a 5% chance of creating a new dark moon card every time you transcribe something. So if you aren't going for the dark moon build, this is not for you. You also get some knowledge points as always. Leatherworking here is at the top because it's one of the best bags ever. It will increase your resourcefulness by 90. It's huge. It's a huge buff. You must get these as soon as you can if you plan to have a leatherworker. And you get 3 profession gear recipes for skinning and some knowledge points. I mean, like 90 resourcefulness is a lot. Make sure to get this bag. Quick note though, it's only for the reagents, like the drums and the things that you sell on the auction house, not the orders. But nonetheless, it's great. You get the knowledge points for skinning there, but the bag itself comes from the quartermaster in the ringing dips. Now it will decrease the cooldown of your sharpen your knife by 10%. So if you plan to do 2x4 farms, long sessions just skinning, make sure to get it. Jewelcrafting one has some interesting options. It will give you 2 finishing reagents. That's the ones that crafters use to just optimize their orders further, have more resourcefulness, have more ingenuity, and you can sell it on the auction house, so it might be very good at the beginning. The bag itself will increase the amount of gems that you get whenever you use crushing. So if you have a jewel crafter that is going for the crushing spec, you must get this because it will increase the amount of gems you get. The more gems, the more gold. So you must get this. We also have a fishing vendor, and it will give you a consumable that you can use on your fishing pole to increase your skill by 20 for 10 minutes. So if you plan to do long sessions of fishing, this is a very good thing. There's also a cooking vendor that sells one of the best foods ever. It's the Empress's Farewell, and it will increase your primary stat by a lot. So this is the main food that most people will probably be using. There's also 2 other recipes, they are not really interesting, but the Empress's Farewell is a good one. So if you plan to do cooking, make sure to get it. And that's about it. That's mostly the profession bags for you. About how to farm cash as efficiently as possible, well, we're not sure yet. We know that you can turn the resonance crystals into cash, and that's mostly it. We just know that you get that currency in the Nerobian zone. But I will surely make a video if there's a specific farm to do, so make sure to have the channel subbed. And if you enjoyed the video and you're still watching, why not comment down below and say something nice? Doesn't necessarily have to be nice anyway, just comment something down below. We'll see you in the next video. Goodbye guys.